welcome back. Sorry, it's been a long time again, but I thought I would come on here and just give you guys a little update, or rather a very big update. So some things are gonna be changing for me. I am going to be doing a year abroad in Australia, and I'm going to be flying out in September. I'm very excited. I kind of just wanted to talk about that, what it means for this channel that I don't really update very often. I'm sorry about that. Obviously, I'm going to be away for a year and I'm going to be traveling around, so that means I can't exactly take all of my precious babies that live in this wardrobe because I can't carry it all. So most of my content is not really going to be fashion related anymore, just for the next year anyways. So I'll start off with why Australia and not Japan. It was around last year where I was just feeling like I really needed a change. I needed something exciting to look forward to. You know, when you kind of hit a wall sometimes in life? Sorry to get a bit deep here. I don't normally get very deep.
That's what she said.
And I was just like, I'm not really sure what I want. I tend to just, if an opportunity arises, I just go for it. I don't really look that far ahead. You know, traits of being an ESFP. I kind of hit this wall of not really knowing what was going on in my life and how I felt about things. It just felt as though there was not really any progression within my job, at least. There's not really anywhere else I can go. It's kind of like, I'm here, I can't really progress up. There's not really any further to go. I've been in this role for 5 years at 2 different companies, and I just felt like there's nothing else I can learn here. I'm kind of doing the same thing day in, day out, and the monotony kind of really got to me. So I originally decided I'm gonna just go and do some traveling. I don't know how long for. I'm just gonna keep saving, and however much I save, go travel, and if my money runs out, I'll come back home. At first I thought, oh, I'll do Southeast Asia, it's much cheaper. But I've never been to Southeast Asia before, and the thought of being alone, I heard it's pretty good for like English speakers to get around in Southeast Asia, but I just didn't want to feel alienated, or I don't cope very well doing things on my own for a prolonged amount of time. So because of that, I then thought, well, why not Australia? You know, it's got the beaches, it's sunny. I think the culture, from what I've like seen online and what I've read, very, very similar to British culture, but they're just like much happier, much more relaxed, because we Brits are miserable fuckers basically. So I was kind of like, it's a no-brainer really, and because it's part of the Commonwealth, there's lots of perks for Brits, like we get free healthcare when we go out there. You sign up for like a Medicard, so I don't need to have health insurance or anything. So even though Australia is much more expensive than Southeast Asia, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna save really, really hard. So this past year, I've just been saving up. Also, Australia is very backpack friendly, so that's why I chose it. A lot of people are like, why don't you get the working holiday visa? So I was looking into it, and I was very much in the mindset of, I just don't want to work for a bit. I want to take a long break and just not work. But then I got thinking, if I spent 3 months in Australia and absolutely loved it, wouldn't it be really devastating to then have to go home? I read that visas can take up to 3 months to be accepted. So I was like, okay, around end of June, I should really start to think about it. I kind of sometimes need like a pressure. I need like a deadline, because I'll consider something and I'll be like, I don't know, I just don't know how I feel about it. And then as it got to the deadline, I was like, actually, this is a really good opportunity. I do not want to miss this, because if I absolutely love Australia and I come back home, I've got to find a new job and then save up all over again. Honestly, the main reason was I don't speak Japanese, and I know you can go and travel. I know so many people that have done it who don't know any Japanese, but I just thought I don't really want to make things harder for myself. And I've been to Japan 3 times and I got by okay without knowing any Japanese, but I'm going alone and I enjoy talking with new people. I want to share experiences, and if I can't communicate with people, it's a massive barrier that, you know, I can't just quickly get over that. I can't just suddenly become fluent in Japanese. I know my personality, and I felt that I would be quite isolated, especially doing something on my own. I just really wanted to be in a place that was like easy for me to set myself up in a new country, because again, I don't read Japanese. How am I going to find an apartment? How am I going to sort out like medical stuff? I don't know what I'm doing. It's not easy. I know other people that have gone, but I don't want to bombard them with lots of questions. I could have done research, but the main reason is I don't speak Japanese. I don't want to be isolated, and I just think I'm not sure if I want to actually live in Japan. Like, I'm not sure if the culture, as much as I find it so interesting, I don't know if it meshes well with my personality. Also, I'm not sure if I would vibe very well with the working culture in Japan. I don't live to work, I work to live. I think it's absolutely amazing that some people can just migrate to a completely different culture that's like vastly different from their own. And as much as I love having new experiences, it's my first time moving away and living outside the UK that I do want to feel some kind of some kind of sense of familiarity. Again, a lot of people have been warning me, like, what about the spiders? What about the snakes? And I'm like, babe, I've been to Japan 3 times. Do you know how many times I have earthquakes? That's pretty fucking scary. But I'm just going in the mindset of, if I don't annoy the wildlife, I don't get into their boundaries, then hopefully I will be okay and they would leave me alone. If not, I will just scream and run away. Like, if I had a huntsman spider in my bed, I'm not going to sleep there. I just think it's a very funny thing that people always say. It's like the first thing people say to you if you go to Australia. It's like, oh, watch out for the spiders. It's like, yeah, people go to, I don't know, Mexico, like high crime rates. USA, very high crime rates. I mean, Australia has lower crime rate than the UK, you know. I think I'll be fine. I'm more worried about crime rates than anything if I was to go traveling. Like, the US scares me way more than Australian spiders do, if I'm honest. Sorry to people who live in the US, but that's just how I feel. So my plans, I don't have any. I have booked to fly into Sydney. I've booked a hostel for a week. I've looked around at a few things I want to do. Like, there's a zoo that I want to go to. I want to get some pictures with kangaroos and koala bears. Oh, and I also want to do whale watching. You can get a boat out and go see wild whales. So that's all I've got planned, really. Just hostel for the first week. I want to see if I meet people, see what they're doing. Maybe I'll head on up to Brisbane. There's a few things I'd like to do there. I also really want to go to Rottnest Island, where the little quokkas are. I think they're so cute. Also, with like going away for a year, you can't really plan stuff, you know? I think people like to put in plans because it makes you feel secure that, like, you know what you're doing, you know where you're going. But I also think that sometimes things don't go to plan, and then you can't then start freaking out that it's not going the way that you want.
Also, sometimes having too many plans means that you box yourself in and you can't fully take advantage of the opportunities that will come up once you're actually there.
It's hard to not have expectations, you know. I do have this image of like how I think I'll feel when I'm out there, and maybe I'll feel the complete opposite, like who knows. But you can't plan a whole year of your life. I mean, even if I stayed in the UK, I'm not planning for that's just not how I live. So I have heard as well, Australia is very expensive. So I'm very prepared for that. But I'm also very prepared to just pick up jobs as I go along. So with the working holiday visa, you can't be employed for more than 6 months with the same person, same company, should I say. So for me, knowing that like I can then move on, I don't like feeling that I'm doing the same thing day in, day out. And then when it starts to get to like 2 years, I'm like, oh wow, like, is this it? You know, which is not great if you're the kind of person that wants to build a career, but I genuinely don't know what I want to do in life. I envy people who go to uni and know exactly what they want to do, and then they just progress in this one thing. I just can't do that, you know. I did fine art at uni, absolutely hated it. Graduated anyways. I ended up doing voluntary work with kids, so then I started working in childcare, got some qualifications for that. And then I somehow got into marketing, and I've been in marketing for 5 years. I had no marketing experience whatsoever. Everything I learned, I just learned on the job. But I do think that means I have adaptable skills. I pick things up pretty quickly. So yeah, again, whatever pops up, I'll do it. I've got like waitressing experiences, done retail. What else have I done? I've done a bunch of things really. And childcare is one of the easiest jobs to pick up, and I genuinely wouldn't mind working with kids again. It's given me focus and direction, which I was really lacking. Good thing about the working holiday visa for Australia for British citizens, such a hard thing, British citizens, is that you can apply for the visa right up until you're 35. Now, most countries for UK citizens, it's only 30, and a lot of the requirements are you have to be a single person, You can't have children. You also need to be obviously like under 35. You also need to have your COVID vaccinations as well. The cost of the visa was $520 something, which is about £280, I think. And honestly, the visa process was very easy. They normally say that most take up to like 70 days, or like 3 months, not 90 days, sorry, or 3 months to process. So yeah, because I already booked my flights, which is something you shouldn't do, okay? Book your visa first and then do your flights. I did it all backwards because I was like, do I want to get a visa? I don't know. But luckily, my visa was accepted within 2 weeks, which was amazing because some people, they have to wait like months before their visa comes through. So yeah, I was really lucky. I think because I hit like all the requirements anyways. You also have to attach a copy of your bank statement because you need to have at least $5,000 worth of savings, which is about £2,000, just so it shows that like you're able to get yourself some like accommodation, or you've got money saved that you can go back home if you need to. And you also need to provide a copy of your passport. I have a rucksack, like a big traveler's rucksack. It's my brother's one that he took to Southeast Asia with him. So I'm borrowing that. God, it's gonna be hard. I mean, look at me. I'm a fucking maximalist to my core. So it's gonna be a real challenge for me to actually think what is important and what do I actually need that I can physically carry. Also to like pack for 4 seasons. If I'm going for a year, like, I'm really going to struggle with packing. Some of my friends have bought me some things, like they got me some like microfiber towels. Oh, and this epic towel, 1 second. So on the side, it says Melissa's Australia towel. And earlier in the year, we did like a funny like 80s inspired photo shoot together. So yeah, no one's going to be stealing that towel, are they? And if they do, I'll be like, it's got my face on it.
Give it back, bitch.
So, and I got the Aussie flag. And yeah, and it's like, it's quite thin as well, so it's not going to be too like bulky for me to carry. This is like a microfiber towel that my friend Zoe bought me, and it's so cute, lavender and white striped. And I don't know if you can see, it's like really thin. It's not like proper towel material, but apparently they're really good for like soaking up water. So I got myself a GoPro, but I haven't bought the mount yet. I've charged it up, but I've not even like fiddled around with it and seen how it works. I'm really excited to see where this chapter takes me. If anyone has any questions about like visas and things, obviously if you're not in the UK, I can't really help you, I'm sorry, but I can link the website where you can actually apply for your visa. On this channel, I'm hoping that I can get some video footage once I've figured out how you use a fucking GoPro. I don't have a laptop though, so I don't really know how I'm gonna like edit all of these. I was gonna buy myself like an iPad, like a used iPad, just really cheap. My next pay, really, I need to just keep all of that money in my UK bank account because I still need to pay for my car and I still need to pay for Crunchyroll, you know, the important things. And I need like at least £1,000 just in case anything happens back home and I need to quickly fly back. Basically, my videos from here on out will probably be my adventures in Australia, so they're not really going to be fashion related. I'm still taking like cute clothes with me. They're still all in pastel colours, but you know, it's going to be like t-shirt and shorts in cute pastel colours. It's not going to be anything exciting. I'm going to be a trainer's hoodie kind of gal for the next year, I guess. So hoping to kind of get a few short videos up, like posted on my TikTok, because I really want more videos posted on there. It's going to be really weird saying goodbye to everyone. It hasn't hit me. I'm having a leaving party, but I reckon it won't hit me until I'm actually at the airport when I get dropped off. I think I'm gonna have a big fucking cry, and I think I'm gonna kind of like whoa, maybe not. Like sometimes I surprise myself and sometimes I'm like, oh, I feel fun, that's all right. Maybe it won't be until I land because I'll be so jet lagged, and when I get tired I get very emotional, so I might land and be like I just want someone to take me to the hotel. Or maybe it won't hit me until like 2 months in. I'm like, I really miss everyone. I just want to say, if anyone is considering like doing a year abroad but they're scared, or like they're just worried about that, you know, going away from things that you're used to and that you're comfortable with, just, this is how I kind of see it, as like, imagine your life is like this big long timeline. You know, most people live until at least they're like 80, and you've only lived like a quarter of your life so far, and you want to do a year abroad. Out of all those years of your life, it's only one year out of that entire life that you're going to do this experience, that even if like it's not for you and you don't like it and you come home, you can still say, oh well, I tried, like I still did it, I went and I did it. And I'm never going to have that, you know, what if when I get older. I'm never going to think, oh, why didn't I do that? Unless you push yourself to do something different, you might find something else that you're super passionate about, or something else, another amazing opportunity that will come up. And if you are under 35, if you don't do it now, then when? People worry that like, oh, but I'm really introverted and it's going to be like really hard to make friends. I think sometimes being an introvert is also a good thing. Like, yeah, being an extrovert is great because it's easier to make friends. Not to say that like introverted people aren't sociable or anything like that. It's just, you know, you need your downtime. But also being introverted means that if there's something you want to go off and do by yourself, and if you want to be a solo traveler, then that's like perfect for you. You're going to meet people along the way, sure, but like you're quite happy to just go off and do your own thing. Whereas for me, I'm like, that kind of scares me. Like, not scares me, it just bores me. I'm like, oh, I could go to this cool thing, but I got no one to go with. But being an extrovert means that normally I can just like make friends pretty easily, and then just like, do you want to go? Do you want to do this? That's what I'm doing for the next year. Thanks for watching and listening to me ramble on, and I shall see you later, my darling. Bye! And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I always forget. But yeah, see ya!